And to this, the Portfolio Committee on Public Service and Administration has noted with concern the latest media reports alleging irregularities at the Government Pensions Administration Agency. This after a senior financial manager was suspended after refusing to approve payments of over 21 million rand that deemed questionable. He now faces disciplinary measures. Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Public Service and Administration, Jan de Villiers, now joins us for more. Jan, good evening. Thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Perhaps to take you to this question first, Jan. What does the Portfolio Committee know about the alleged ghosts contract? Does the Portfolio Committee establish if it indeed exists?
Well, good evening to yourself and to your listeners as well. It's nice to be with you. So at this stage, it is an allegation which we received, and it was also exposed in the media, that the GPAA, the Government Pension Administration Agency, who I just have to add, has the task of working with the GPAF, the Government Pension Fund, Employment Fund, working with their money. So it's roughly 1.7 million members of retired and active public servants who belong to the GPF. So it's an incredibly important pension fund. It looks after the money, the retirement money and the retirement savings of our public servants. So the GPAA, the administrator of this fund, allegedly concluded a lease agreement to the tune of 1 billion rand with a landlord who does not even own the building that it leased. So it's basically a ghost contract on a ghost building. The building, which apparently is supposed to be leased for the GPAA to the tune of 1 billion rand, isn't even owned by the business who claims to be the landlord.
Well, that's just a form of subletting, right?
Now,
that's just a form of subletting. It's not necessarily automatically unscrupulous practice. It's actually quite a common practice. Perhaps to ask this, is there a need at all for the GPAA to be renting a building of at a price tag of over 1 billion rand?
Well, that's one of the things we'd need to establish as a committee. So in performing our oversight function, we would have to call the CEO, well, the CEO has now been suspended, call the then acting CEO in front of our committee and gather these facts. We need to try and establish whether the GPAA had a need for this contract, for this building. So, I mean, obviously you need to understand how many square meters they need, how many personnel they were planning to staff. All of those details will still be forthcoming. But that's almost not the important thing at the moment. The important thing is that a lease agreement has been concluded for a building which does not exist. And it seems like money has already been paid.
The building doesn't exist? Sorry, Jan, you said the building doesn't exist?
The building doesn't exist. Sorry, apologies. The building exists. The landlord does not own the building. So it's a ghost contract.
Okay. Has the committee established who owns the building?
Yes, the building is owned by a JSE listed company called Attack, and they have just commented by saying it is already fully tenanted. I think PricewaterhouseCoopers is one of the tenants. So it's not even like the building is vacant and that it has been available. It is fully tenanted and it's owned by a JSE listed company. So there's no way that the GPAA could have gone into that building in the first place.
So the GPAA is not even occupying the building that they're paying a 21 million rand monthly rent fee on. Is that correct?
No, not quite. So the 21 million rand is actually for a different payment. So there were two incidents with the GPAA. Firstly, last week, it came to the fore that they concluded a lease agreement with a landlord who didn't even own the building,
sure,
to the tune of 1 billion rand. So it is an insane amount of money.
Just for clarity, this is 1 billion over what period?
Over 10 years.
Over 10 years, okay. So at 100 million rand a year?
Yes, I mean, that is an incredible amount of money. I mean, so it would, one of the tests we would have to look at is if they signed up for market-related rentals, which you can only really establish once you understand how many square meters they've rented and what they would be paying for the square meters. But the 21 million rand, which you referred to, is now a second incident which happened this week. a financial controller or manager was asked to pay money for 21 million rand. And it seems like the financial managers decided that they will not pay this money and that they will report it because the service provider has not been vetted appropriately and all the appropriate steps has not been followed. And once this was raised, instead of actually commending this person and looking into it, the then CEO of the GPAA went ahead and put the financial manager on caution and actually threatened them with disciplinary action. After this has now been reported to the finance minister on Friday, and we must commend the finance minister for this, he put the CEO of the GPA on cautionary suspension.
Yeah. So let's just clean this up a little bit because it seems like there's quite a lot going on at the GPAA that needs to be investigated. Has the committee had sight of the lease agreement that was signed with, let's call them the middleman or third party of the attack building that the GPAA is now paying, if my calculation serves me right, just over 8 million rand a month in rental fees?
No, we have not have sight of it, so this would be part of our oversight investigation. We would ask for all of the different documents to establish the facts, and I have to just say that this has all been marked as allegation and is being treated as allegations. But I must just say it is a very serious allegation. The GPAA cannot afford to use pensioners' money corruptly, and it would seem that if this amount of money, especially R1 billion, was earmarked to be paid in rent to a building which can't even be occupied by the GPAA, that could be mass corruption.
Okay, just a last question. I think this is really important, Jan. What is the committee's view and comment on the last audited financials of the GPAA and the audit opinion that was presented by the Auditor General? Are you satisfied with the financial health and financial management of the GPAA holistically? And coupled to that, is the committee satisfied that the GPAA is a going concern that can meet its obligations of paying out pension benefits to more than 1.2 million South Africans every single month?
No, at this stage we are very concerned because if you in a space of 2 weeks have these types of financial irregularities where a lease agreement is concluded on with a third party on a building which that third party doesn't even own, to the tune of 1 billion rand, then that's an indication of serious financial controls which have melted down and is not being applied to. The same goes for when a financial manager who's trying to do the right thing, instead of being commended for it, is actually cautioned and disciplined. It is just a pin in that, Jan. My question is very specifically, is the committee happy with the last audited financials, very specifically speaking to the overall financial health of the GPAA? Well, we'd have to relook the audited financials because everything that's happened now has not been audited yet. So okay. We accept the audit findings of the previous of the previous financial year, but everything we're talking about now is new incidents. So the Auditor General will also still have to look at this. Okay, we're going to have to leave it there. Jan de Villiers, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. That's the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Public Service and Administration, Jan de Villiers, speaking to us there on the newly surfaced allegations of financial malfeasance at the Government Pension Administrative Agency.